Alright then. Hello everyone, my name is Alex, and welcome back to the workshop. Now, last time my friend James was here, we gave you a little bit more information about how to do handles, etc., etc. Today, I'm actually going to be showing you how to make the handle. So, first off, what you're going to need is two things. Well, several things, but here's the things you're absolutely going to need. First off, a sword that already has a fuller/tang on it. You know, the part that actually goes into the handle, as we discussed last time. Secondly, you're going to need wood, cut to two pieces approximately the same size. I got a second piece already in the vise. You might notice that this side right here has a little bit of blackness on it. Well, the reason for that is because I actually took both pieces of wood, sandwiched them together without any adhesive or anything, and then I sanded down as best I could to get a nice, smooth, even finish on it. That way, when I put both the pieces together, it's going to be one less spot that I'm going to have to take care of. Alright then, let's get started. Now then, your first step is going to be securing the wood. I have mine in a vise. And the next step, what you're going to need is a pencil. All you got to do is just line it up. Make sure that the top of the fuller right there matches up with the top of the wood. And then you just trace it. Then once you have it completely traced out, voila! That's not straight though is the problem. See, every once in a while I'm going to run into problems like this. That's why we have the eraser. Now you see, I kind of thought it wasn't going to be straight, but I didn't trust my gut on it. That's why every once in a while you always got to trust your gut. You want this to be as centered as possible. Up here can be straightened out later. At least on the PVC it can be. So then, trace. And you're going to notice that my PVC moved around a little bit when I was tracing it. That's fine. At least so long as the lines are close together rather than further apart. Because if they're close together, that means it's just going to be that much tighter and that much more of a clean fit. Now then, once you have that, you're going to need a knife. Give me 1 second. This is the kind of knife I use. My dad got it a long time ago. It's a basic Craftsman. And what you're going to want to do is just follow the lines. You can't see it because my hand is in the way. But if you look closely, you can see my score mark right there. That's going to be useful for a myriad of reasons. And I'll explain them all later in the video. Alright? I'm going to see if I can speed up the video at this point for you guys. And if I can, I'm just going to keep rambling really quick. So big step, we're not going to be chiseling. And yes, there are where your hardware is, and it's a small chisel. Now remember, you're going to make exactly the same size, and if you don't do it perfect, you're going to have to but it's just a little bit smaller, and fix it. So now that my wood's scored, here's the reason for that. What that does is that creates a relief point. So when I put my chisel right here and I start going through, bigger chunks of it are going to come out rather than little shaves of it and stuff like that. So if I do it right, then this entire section right here should just lift up and pop right out. And I'm also going to add another score mark right here crossways just to show you the difference. Now keep in mind, if you wanted to take extra time to prepare everything properly, I'm recommending putting cross scoring like that all along the length of it. Now give me 1 second to get my chisel. Let's see, the third drawer down. And let's see if the ½ inch is too big. Nope, ½ inch is just about right. Now keep in mind, if you're brand new to chiseling, you might want to choose a smaller size chisel, but since I'm somewhat used to it, I'm going to go with what I think is the right one. Because I've actually got pretty good control at this point. Now then, you can use any kind of hammer, but I prefer to use a rawhide mallet. This is literally made of leather. Not that strong, so it's not going to be able to whack and slam all the way through, but it has a pretty good force to it. Now then, you just put it on the edge like that. You know what, actually, since I'm going to be chiseling now, let me move it over here so you guys can actually watch my hands work. excuse me for coughing. I have asthma and I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold personally. Alright, that should be good. Alright then, nope, never mind. Okay, so you see, what you do is you hold it against it, and then you're going to hit it with just a little bit of force to try and get it in at first. What you want to do is try and get it as straight as possible. And if you look closely, you can already see, give me a second, just got to get the tripod to move downward, because this tripod is old, so it doesn't like to, there we go, it doesn't like to move. Now then, if you look closely right there, you see how the wood's already starting to pop up? It should do that along the entire length of it. So, I'll come back as soon as I have everything fully chiseled. Okay. A little more. More. this next part takes the, well, not the longest, but if you ask me, it's the hardest, but it's the most necessary. Basically, you got to go through and you got to try and square off as much as possible, preferably with a little file like this one. Also, using your knife, you can try and scrape out the little parts that are just barely hanging on. It'll take forever to file those down. And remember, you don't need to have it completely flat. You just want to square it off a little bit so that the corners aren't rounded. Because that's the thing with sanding, is sometimes your corners come out rounded when you don't intend them to. And I say that this is the hardest part because of little bits like this. See? Where you're trying to sand but it doesn't want to for some reason. Or you're trying to file and doesn't want to. There we go. Alright, and there's just little bits like right in there. I just got to go in with my knife and cut away just a little bit. It's the little flakes like that right there that you want to try and get off, because that's going to ruin it later when you try to glue. And by the way, you don't glue the blade, you only glue the handle. And now, next step is to take that other piece of wood I was talking about before, try and line it back up again the exact same way you had it. So, see, because I had them in the clamp when I was doing that, there's only score marks on one side. So now when I go to line it up, it lines up perfectly. At least for 3 of the sides it does. The 4th side, you don't need to worry about. So long as both of these sides and the top side right here lines up, it's all good. Alright, now that you have that one part done, all you got to do next is very simple. Glue that part on the inside, take your clamp, clamp it down. I personally prefer to use this kind of clamp because with each squeeze I can get it just a little bit tighter. Now, personally, hang on a second. Ah, crap. That wasn't supposed to move. Huh, okay, it locked down, I guess. Alright then. Alright then. Sorry if I'm not in frame right now. But anyway, I personally recommend using Gorilla Glue. Just any strength Gorilla Glue, but the stronger the better. Because the next part is actually going to be filing down the sides and cutting them and everything and making the actual outer shape of the handle now that we have the actual inside hole. I'm going to be doing that in another video because that's an entire process within itself. Thanks for playing, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex signing off. Have a nice day.